Hello everyone and welcome to the Fish Room WA. So today's video is going to be about how to breed Bristlenose, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so it is going to be about breeding Bristlenose. So first off, I'll give you a little bit of background on them. So Bristlenose are an amazing algae eater. They're very common in everyone's tank. When you're a beginner and you have an algae problem in your tank, most pet stores or anyone will just recommend you to get Bristlenose. They are the ultimate algae eater. As you can see, Ruby's getting interested. Yeah, so they're a really good algae eater. They are really easy to breed and they are an amazing beginner fish. Ruby has to get up to be seen. Just say hello. Yeah, so they're a really good beginner fish to breed. So the first thing you really have to do when you're breeding them is technically just get a mature pair. So there's multiple ways you can go along getting a breeding pair. You can just get, an adult pair, so a breeding pair that someone's selling, a male and a female, or you could go to a pet store or buy off someone 6 and then grow them up, and then when they start to show their sexes, so male or female, you take a male and a female from that group and put them aside to breed. So what I did here is I actually bought an adult breeding pair, which I found if you really want to immediately start breeding them is definitely the way to go, because as soon as I got them, they bred a week later. So if you want that instant breeding, I definitely recommend getting an adult breeding pair or even just a juvenile breeding pair. The buying 6 to grow up to then breed, it does take a decent amount of time. I'd say about 8 to 9 months. So yeah, that's my start. Oh, Ruby wants to go down. There you go, sweet pea. Okay, so yeah, that's the first part, and next is going to be next part. Excuse my grammar. We're going to be talking about how to breed them. Okay, so now that you've acquired your pair, we'll move on to the tank setup. So of course, you need all your normal necessities. You need, tank, filter, your heater. I found these guys like to sit around 26 to 28 degrees Celsius. I have these guys at 28 degrees Celsius, and I find they breed really well. The lowest these guys can probably go would be 24, but I wouldn't recommend going that low because it'd probably be a little bit chilly for them. So yeah, another thing that's must have for them is a cave. So that is what they breed in. So you can find these at your local pet shop or online, but this is a necessity to breeding Bristlenose. So what will happen is you put the cave in the tank, you get the tank all set up, and then you introduce your pair. The male will go and immediately guard the cave and get the cave ready for the female. So then the next step you will have to do is fatten up the female. So you can use technically any food. These guys are really easy to breed. Just, some sinking pellets. You want to feed a decent amount of sinking pellets, frozen bloodworms. I found that really fattens the girls up. And then, once you've done that, you can do, I'll probably say a 20% cold water change, and that will trigger the pair because it's like their instincts that when there's a cold rainfall and the temperature drops in the aquarium, the pair will immediately go, it's time to breed. So the male will start fanning. So you see him sitting outside the cave, fanning his little fins. It's actually kind of adorable. So he'll fan, and then the female will get attracted. So you see he's kind of flexing to the female, but fanning, not as impressive. So the female will come to the cave. The male will then trap her. So the female will dive into the cave. The male will come on the back and trap her in there. Then he'll let the female out. Female will reverse in. She'll lay her eggs. And then the male will take care of the eggs for the next 2 weeks. That is another really good thing about Bristlenose, why they're so good for beginners, is because the male actually takes care of their eggs and fry. So the male probably will need 1 to 2 tries to get the hang of taking care of the eggs and the fry. I found this male has probably had 7 batches, and sometimes the one-off occasion, he kind of forgets how to raise his fry, which I think is a little bit of a flaw. Yeah, so he's on eggs, he's fanning, he hatches the eggs out, he's got fry, then he'll just release the fry into the aquarium, as you see here. So he's released all these fry into the tank. There's 2 generations. You can actually see this is the first batch I got, and then this is the second batch. So there's 2 generations of fry in here. So then what you need to do next is, feed the tank a lot more, because there's got to be tons more fry that you need to feed. So just really heavily feed the tank. And then once that's sellable size, you can either move them out of the tank and put them into a 4-foot. So this is where I put all my Bristlenose fry. So I catch them out of that tank that I have them in, and I move them into this tank over here. And then, they'll grow out, they'll finish growing out in here, and then I'll sell them from here. So that's kind of the process. Male takes care of the eggs, he releases them from the cave, I let them grow up in here, and then I kind of strip the tank down, catch all the fry out, move the fry across, and then put the pair back in. So yeah, these guys are really easy, very simple fish to breed, great for beginners, and I highly recommend them. And yes, even though I say they are really easy, I have made many mistakes to them. So you're never going to be perfect. I've got batches of fry, pulled the fry too early. I've had the wrong fish in the tank, which have eaten the fry. I pulled them from a tank and I put them in another tank, and then the tank's been too cold and the fry have died. Nobody's perfect. You are going to make mistakes, but then once you get into the rhythm of it, it becomes really easy, as you can see now. And I have found that not stripping the fry from the cave works, so not taking the fry forcefully from the cave. I just find letting the male, let nature do its work and everything, letting the male let the fry go into the tank is definitely the best way of breeding Bristlenose. So yeah, I've rambled on enough about these guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe and drop a comment down below, and I hope you have an amazing day. So just a little something I forgot to put in the video. In this video, I am talking about the short fin versions, like the common albinos. The long fin version, those are actually way trickier to breed. I have 2 of the long fin versions, the super red and the lemon blue eye long fins. I've gotten the long fins to breed, but I've struggled with the fry, and don't even get me started with the super red long fins. That has been a traumatic journey, and if anyone has any advice on how to get super long fin Bristlenose to breed, please leave me a comment down below. It'll help me out so much.